Hello, and welcome to Redstein Radio, a Dead by Daylight podcast. I am one of your hosts, Madison, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Stevie.
Hi, y'all. It's just
So,
us two.
yeah, I was gonna say, Bryson's not here, so this is a special episode where it's only the girls today. Ooh, ooh.
No, Bryson's got a well-deserved vacation.
He
I
does,
hope he's
yeah,
been
so
having fun.
send a happy vacation in the comments below. How's it going, by the way, Stevie? How's it going? How you feeling?
It's a-okay. I've been on my good girl arc.
Exactly. Same here, honestly. Good day today. Great week, honestly. And if you're playing Honkai Star Rail and you're excited for Sirini, shout out to you. Because I am one of those people. Anyways,
No, you play
uh,
Honkai. That's the good version of gotcha games.
there's no good gacha game. Let's be real.
You
We're
say
not
it.
here
You
to
say
talk
it like
about
you believe it.
gachas. We're here to talk about Dead by Daylight. And this is episode 20 of Redstone Radio. Today we're going to be talking about the latest PTB, which I believe is 9.3 or
Yeah,
9.4.
yeah. You
And
got it. 9.3.0.
yes, 9.3.0, which the devs released right now as of recording, which is yesterday for y'all, wonderful people. On top of that, they also did a little live stream to kind of show stuff before that, but that's already happened. And yeah, we're just gonna be going over that information to see how people feel and see how these changes affect Dead by Daylight as a whole. Are you ready, Stevie?
Oh, I've been ready. I've been ready all day.
Yeah, because we had to delay this episode due to timing, but now we're here. Now we're queer and we're ready to record. However, before we actually get into the episode, I know bait and switch. I'm sorry, CV. We've got to do some housekeeping.
Please,
First, for the
please, please.
listeners and viewers, you can email us at redstainradio@gmail.com. Send us your comments, questions, and/or discussion ideas, and we'll view them on the show. Sorry, I cut you off earlier, CV. What were we gonna say?
No, you did not. You did not.
Oh,
Please, just
okay.
go. Just you.
Yeah,
You
I'm
got
just
it.
perfect like that. I'm just like, I've got no flaws. I've never been wrong about anything before, ever.
Yes. Now you get it. Now you get it. Keep that energy. We can all
Also,
stand to be a little more confident for no reason.
yeah. Oh, also, we want to start collaborating with some other smaller Dead by Daylight content creators or just content creators in general. So if you are said small content creator or you know someone who is a small content creator, feel free to send us a message on our socials or an email, and we'd love to work something out. We love collaborating. So yeah, please reach out.
Literally, like if you stream or if you make YouTube videos or you do anything DBD related, please hit us up. You know our email.
Exactly. It's by the way, it's redstoneradio@gmail.com. Did you know that's Evie?
Redstain Radio, baby. REDSTAIN at gmail.com. Oh, I
Yes.
forgot the radio
Email
part.
or comment. Ooh. So let's get into the topic of the show. We're gonna be talking about the PTB notes, as mentioned before. Before that, though, yes, once again, I'm sidelining this. Did you know that 2v8's coming back, CV, on November
I'm
6th? So
excited.
that is tomorrow, as of the day this episode comes up. There is one notable thing about this that we know so far, officially. There is going to be no Legion. Legion's getting removed temporarily. They will be back in a future iteration, but currently their power is not very fun for people to play against, so they're removing them for this iteration specifically.
But did you know it's a Konami themed 2v8 this time?
Konami!
So much
No
like how they
way!
did another Konami themed where they added Wesker, it's now
Or I thought it was
probably going to be
Capcom.
the Silent Hill side of Konami. So,
Wasn't isn't Resident Evil Capcom?
oh gosh, you might be right.
I'm not the wrong one! Yay!
No, no, much,
Sorry.
much like how we have the Capcom 2v8 before, we're going to have the Konami 2v8
There we
now.
go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had Resident Evil, and now we're having Silent Hill and Dracula or Castlevania. Boy. But yeah, I've seen some of the cosmetics. I wasn't sure those are officially released yet. Ooh. But I'm really liking those skins, especially the one for Cheryl. Like, okay,
Yes.
queen.
Yes.
So evil. I love it. I don't really
Bare
know the
feet
whole.
and a veil.
I don't know really the specific lore of that outfit for Silent Hill 2. I don't know if you put that on. Not Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 3. But yeah, very cool. Very charismatic. Charismatic? Very slay. There we go. Blah. Speaking of skins, actually, we're going to be getting a. We have already gotten the skin for Michonne that turns her into Maggie from The Walking Dead, along with Blighted Springtrap and Blighted Unknown, which I love.
Right,
Maggie,
those were
though,
Behavior's October licensed sets where
very
they gave
spooky.
us those very, very cool licensed skins.
Yes, very spooky. I will say though, Maggie's face is it's a choice. She kind of looks like she's been through it. And I don't mean like a oh she looks scared way. I mean like someone like pulled her face off and then put it back on. There's not something right with her face. I don't know if it's a licensing issue because they couldn't get the actress's likeness or what, but it just feels weird. Something's off. I don't know what.
I have yet to see anyone play it yet, but I haven't played a lot, so
Yeah, we've
I'll be
been kind
honest.
of on a little break here from Dead by Daylight. Like I played a bit during the Halloween event, but not a whole lot. Yeah, so sorry, listeners. We still love Dead by Daylight. The podcast isn't ending. Don't worry. Just we haven't been playing it, but we'll probably play a bit more once the new chapter comes out in January, or if they do something really cool for December, and we'll probably play a bit for the Konami stuff. So yeah, don't
And I
worry.
mean, I'm still playing. I mean, I'll play it like every day or every other day,
Yeah, I play it like once a week. Super
like 15, 20 minutes.
casual.
No, sorry, like more like 45 minutes I'll play it. Yeah,
Yeah, like
casual.
it's like a few games, like two or three. Boom, get in, get out. Boom, boom. Speaking of getting in, getting out, you're getting into some of these maps, and there's a little map survey, and we got some results of the five most enjoyed maps.
Right. The community surveyed maps.
No, why don't
Listeners,
you
let's
tell
see
us
if you
this,
agree
Stevie?
with these. Let's see
Who
if you agree
was
with these. We
who?
had these ranked. We're gonna go 5 through 1 as terms of what behavior received in
Yes.
their feedback. Number 5 most enjoyed map was Raccoon City Police Department,
Oh,
West Wing. People
specifically.
thought that Raccoon City deserves to be in this top 5, and I don't know how you feel about RPD, but I think a lot of people like the vibes. I think a lot of
I
people
do love the
don't
vibe.
consider how something can be construed as like a balanced map. They just like the vibes of the map. People
Yeah,
aren't really considering what a map is full of. It's just how a map feels,
yeah.
which
Like
is a
number
lot that makes
one
sense.
kind of explains that for me. Like it's a good example of that, I should say, which we'll get to in like 2 seconds. What's number
Yeah.
four?
Number
What's
4, Freddy's Pizzeria.
yes.
Similar idea. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria was a semi-licensed map. It was the realm Withered Isles got
Yeah.
the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, and there's a lot of great detail in it.
Yeah.
It's mainly just a main building with a couple tiles and a shack building that you already know. But as far as the main building goes, I think that's enough to sell it as its own map. And
Yeah.
the fact that people like it enough for it being, yeah, it's the most recent map. I mean, hey, people love Freddy Fazbear's, and they did a great job turning it into a map. So it being number 4 in the top 5 most liked maps, that makes sense, and that's a good nod to how their design team has really
Exactly.
kicked it up.
Like away from the bias of me being a FNAF fan, I do really enjoy the gameplay on it as Killer and Survivor. Like I'd say it skews slightly towards Killer, but like in general, it's just really fun. Like I don't know, main building feels like what a main building should be: strong loops, but also some weaker loops in between all the strong loops, and it's not like palette hell like the game. So yeah,
But it's
I just
very
really
gimmicky. It's very static, so you know what
yeah.
you're getting into every time. But it's very much a nod to everything Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
Most specifically is the movie. It feels like you're playing in the set from the movie
Yep. With
with Matthew Lillard, right?
yeah, Matthew Lillard. What's number three though?
Number 3,
Number three.
I am not repeating myself. It is Raccoon City Police Department, East Wing.
Okay, that feels unfair though. Why is it on there twice? Like, I know they're different
Well, because they voted
technically,
for
but like,
maps
come
and not
on.
realms. If it was realms, it'd be a lot more vague.
Yeah.
And the fact that RPD got in there twice has to say enough that people just like Resident Evil. People are playing Dead by Daylight because they like that it's the Smash Brothers of horror.
Yeah.
People
I
are
mean,
playing
like,
it because they like their licenses.
yeah. I mean, like, before FNAF, it was the it had the highest player count ever when that first chapter for Resident Evil came out. Like, you think, like, Resident Evil fans are just like, oh, they're there. No, they are a swarm. They are everywhere. They are you. They are me. They are among us. Oh.
They
Oh.
are the creatives within us. They are the gamers, the hardcore sweats, the casual players. All love Resident Evil.
Yeah, there's a reason why we keep saying Weskers all the time and Nemesis is every now and then. It's because, you know.
and we're gonna keep seeing RPD.
And
You
RPD
can bet
stuff.
on that. People are gonna use RPD offerings until they're out of them. You're
Mm,
gonna keep getting RPD in your map rotation until you're sick of it.
mm.
And behavior thinks you're not gonna be sick of it. Too many people
I'm
like
sick.
it.
I want out. I want out. All
I'll be
right,
honest.
let's.
Well, how do you feel about RPD being in there twice?
Oh,
When you play RPD as a killer or a survivor, do you have a little bit of fun? Do you have anything you enjoy about it?
see, have fun. Yeah, like it's a fun map. I don't think it's balanced the best. I feel like it's a lot better than it used to be when I was just one map, which was. But it's all right now. Not my favorite map. I love the vibe, like you said. Like I love the atmosphere. It's just gameplay wise, either as killer or survivor, not great. Especially as killer, I should say. Actually, now that I think about it,
For me, it feels like you're playing survivor or killer, and you roll RPD. To me, it feels like a pop quiz.
a pop.
You know this map.
Yeah,
You've been in this class before.
yeah,
You know what it entails, and you just have to play around it. You have to be on your A game. You have to
yeah,
remember your check spots. You have to remember that there's no random tiles that you can crutch on, but there are a couple soft like god loops. There's a couple god palettes
yeah,
here and there.
definitely.
And if you
Definitely
get those god
free.
palettes, you have to use them. But I think it's a great exercise in, I don't know how to say it other than like, you remember this loop, you have to play it the way you remember, and if the survivor misplays it, you have shown your skill. You have
Yeah,
shown that your knowledge of the game, specifically RPD, is outshining theirs. And I like when that happens. I like when a survivor gets hit by your hatchet because they vaulted the window into the office building at the right time and you knew the angle to pre-charge your hatchet. I like when that lines up. When you have a
yeah,
moment where you know what's going to happen, you can anticipate the future because you know the map, because
yeah.
you know the layout, you can anticipate how to play around it. I think that
Exactly.
works for a map, and it
Yeah,
makes
it's
it
kind of like
makes it
that.
enjoyable.
Reliability, exactly. Now, is number two also a reliable map? What's number two?
Ooh, number two is Mount Ormond Resort, and Mount Ormond Resort has kind of been unchanged for a few years. They added a variant and then have removed the variants for all maps in the
Yeah,
recent update. So now you're only getting the same RPD that you know for the last few years. I think this is the comfort pick. I think this is people
yeah,
saying, I never have a terrible time on Ormond. I think everything
yeah.
that happens on Ormond is kind of believable. Everything that happens is due to the gameplay. Everything that happens on Ormond is what Dead by Daylight entails.
Yeah, like they did like a noticeable shakeup with like some of the layouts and palettes and stuff, but it wasn't like super big. And like I feel like I kind of made it from like a meh map into a pretty solid map. But I feel like what you said explains it really good. It's a comfort pick. I feel like people just like it because it's not like too broken, which is saying a lot
Exactly.
about Dead by Daylight.
Exactly. You know exactly where the shack is going to be every time. You know
Exactly.
exactly how the main building is going to be filled. And if a killer is coming from a certain direction, you've already pre-anticipated what to do. You can kind of make it less of an assuming game and more of a gameplay game. You know,
So
you're doing your jukes and you're hiding in the spots that you always like to do it in.
exactly. Now,
Number
number
one.
one though.
Number
What
one,
about?
this is controversial, apparently, is Dead Dog Saloon. The Grave
Oh,
of Glenvale is only map.
yep. It's
Um,
the cowboy map.
for
Yeehaw,
for the amount
partner.
of people that like don't play Slinger or Zarina, they're voting for Dead Dog still. I think this is kind of a placebo map, if that makes sense.
Placebo map?
I
Ooh, do
think if you're a
tell.
Survivor player and you mainly play Survivor, you're thinking to yourself, of course, Dead Dog's a great map. It's a Survivor-sided map. And if you're a Killer player who only plays Killer, you're thinking to yourself, of course, Dead Dog's a great map. It's a Killer-sided map.
Ah, I see, I see.
I think there's this idea that Dead by Daylight kind of throws you into a map, and depending on how random it is, it could be in one side's favor or the other. Or if
Yeah,
it's static, it was built to be in one side's favor or the other. Dead Dogs to me feels just static enough and just slightly random enough that you can kind of say, I know this map. I know what to do. I've experienced every version of it.
yeah,
There's some tiles that are really survivor sided.
yeah.
I'm thinking of the building that loops into Shack. Like when
Mm.
you go onto that far edge in between the dead zone and the wind
Yeah,
or the
yeah,
water tower, there's that one building that connects into Shack. And if you know how to play as a survivor, It's super
Yeah.
strong.
With like the
Same
little
with main.
stuff next to it and like the wheelbarrow and I
The
think a wheelbarrow?
main
Not wheelbarrow,
sections
it's
of
like a
the map.
little carriage. You know what I
You're
mean?
right. You're right. The carriage that spawns like in that street at the end of it.
I was thinking the other carriage, the one that's like right behind the gallows that connects to Shaq.
Yes.
Kind of like that
That's
weird
the
triangle.
yes. That one's always there, always consistent, so you can always play around it. You always know the geometry.
Yeah.
It's comforting. You're
Yeah.
not running into, jungle gym into jungle gym. You're just running into the same building with the same drop down.
Yeah. How
But
did
Dead
you?
Dogs being the favorite, I'm gonna say it's mainly based on like the fun potential.
That's fair, yeah.
If you're playing Survivor and you know what you're doing, you can kind of force certain scenarios that work in your favor. And if you're playing Killer, you can kind of do the same. You
Yeah.
have a one singular dead zone that if you catch somebody there, your chase will be like 20 seconds max.
And under I hit my hand, sorry. But underlying or very small minor thing I also like about Dead Dog, the totem spawns aren't horrible there. Like there's some ones that kind of make you like, why is that there? But that's just kind of Dead by Daylight in general. But like overall, the totem spawns there are pretty solid, pretty consistent. So I like that. Very minor thing about
Totems are
that.
an important part too, right? Like if a spot of the map is unexplored most of the game, putting a totem there makes it strong. Putting an
Exactly.
element of the map like a generator there is super awkward. But Dead Dogs is small enough you can fit the whole map in your head. You can kind
Yes.
of load it up and you know exactly what the layout is. You're not lost if you've played it 5 or 6 times before. You kind of can orient yourself really quickly. The map
Exactly.
is very gray, but it has a lot of life to it with like moving parts, with like birds flying around, the gallows open
The
up,
vultures.
the vultures.
The vultures.
I think the dead zones in it make it not too strong for survivors, but I think that the fact that the buildings are static make it strong enough that you can feel like you had a chance.
Yeah, yeah. Bryson does have one comment about this whole thing, and it's specifically on Dead Dog. He says, "Who the fuck voted this map? Where do you live?" And then you wrote it, me.
That's me. I didn't vote, but I would have
I did
voted
not
Dead
vote because I
Dogs.
didn't really want to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a hater. Well, not a hater. I didn't really want to vote. I felt lazy.
If I had my choice, I'd say fucking Rancid Abattoir or Torment Creek. I love the Coldwind maps.
That's fair. That's fair.
They're a little nostalgic for me, but Dead Dogs
Honestly,
has that second spot.
Temple of Purgatory, pretty solid. That's one of
Temple
my
of
favorites.
Purgation. Oh my
Or
gosh, that
Purgation,
one's
not
fun.
Purgatory. Oh my god.
You gotta remember it's the plagues map, so it's the Temple of Purging,
I Temple
Purgation.
throwing up,
Yup,
throwing it out there. Ah.
throw it back.
All right, so let's actually get into the PTB, which is what we've coined the return of anti-slugging and anti-tunneling systems. So let's get right into the anti-camping feature. So right now they decided to add. Well, right now we know it as the little bar when you're hooked. So if the killer is close to you, it builds up, and after an amount of time, you can unhook yourself, and you can do this on first and second hook. So pretty cool. But it's not great because the killer can still pretty much counter it, quote unquote. Like if they dedicate themselves, they can consistently get you even with the protections and you unhook yourself. And also 90% of the time, it doesn't really do what you want it to do. Where when someone gets hooked and you're like kind of proxy camping because there's a gen that's like 99 and there's a person nearby, you're getting punished for that. Not great. Or in the other hand of the situation, someone is camping you. If you do unhook yourself, he's gonna tap you, yeah, and you get a speed boost, you can run away. But now you're in deep wound, and now he has no reason not to go kill you. So, not really great. It's good, but could be better. And these are what these changes are supposed to be trying to solve. So, first things first, the progress bar, aka the bar that lets you let you know when you can unhook yourself, is now seen by all other survivors on the HUD during a match. Amazing change. Should have been there in the start, but I'm glad it's here now. Next thing they added is that the meter now feels faster based on how long the killer remains in your proximity. So the first 10 seconds, it's normal speed. But after 10 seconds for 10 to 20 second time frame, it's at double speed. And if they're still in there after 20 seconds, 4 times speed. So you can unhook yourself really quickly. So it's less of a, oh, will I get to unhook and then get punished or hurt someone that's not really trying to do that? and more of a, okay, now I have the option to leave when I need to. So I can wait till like I'm about to go to the second stage, unhook, and now he's gotta waste more time. Awesome. Slay. And additionally, you might be thinking, that's a little strong though, because like if the killer's there for 10 seconds, then you're getting double speed. You can maybe unhook yourself if someone tries to pressure, which is why they're adding a sort of grace period for killers when they hook other survivors near. Sorry, yeah, when they hook another survivor, the last survivor's unhook bar gets paused. Additionally, they made it so the range of the anti-cam got 20 more meters than it was before, because I think before it was like 10, 20, something like that. And they decreased the base fill rate of the anti-cam meter by roughly 50%. So when you're on the hook, you slowly got anti-cam. Like it was very slow. That's been halved basically. Or I should say quartered. Like a quarter of that got taken away. And now that's what we have. So yeah, that's basically everything besides the 7 seconds specifically for the grace period when you hook somebody and someone else that's already been hugged. So if I hook Stevie and then hook Bryson, Stevie's bar gets paused for 7 seconds. And so does Bryson. I believe that's how it works. Stevie, what are your thoughts on these changes?
I think that this is what it was kind of intended to be. This is what it
Yeah.
should have been. If everyone was reading the patch notes, everyone would know there's an anti-camp feature. But there was kind of the issue of you'd be getting camped by the killer, and a survivor would run to the loop you're hooked at. They would notice the killer is staring at you right in your face on the hook, and they would wait 5 meters away from your hook, out of sight of the killer.
Okay.
The killer's not looking for other survivors. They're fine to hide near you, but it would pause your camp bar, and you would kind of sit there in a situation where you see a bar that could get you free and you see a survivor that could get you free, and none of it was moving. The survivor was standing there until the killer moved. The bar was not moving until the survivor moved or the killer kept camping you, and you were kind of stuck, and the whole mechanic didn't work. Now you can kind of anticipate that your survivor teammate is looking at the HUD and will let you get your own unhook and slam gens. Hopefully, right? That's the optimal play. Always has been. Bubba's camping you in the basement. A survivor realizes it. They go back to the gen they were working on. They do 3 gens. They do 2 more. Everyone's out except you. Fine game. Now you kind of have to rely on either survivors doing a double unhook where they body block one hit and then the other one gets the unhook and then they body block you and you get out, or they all slam gens, they all get the exit gate, you unhook yourself, Bubba hits your deep wounds, your endurance lets you escape. It's a little more like straightforward now. You can kind of get told by the game what's about to happen. If with this new change goes live, you won't really get in the situation where Bubba camps you until you're 99% of the way there, and then you hit second stage anyway, and then you still lose because he hits you twice out. Now I think you're always going to get your own camp meter. I think if you kind of play around it the right way, I don't know how to say it, because it's situation based. They could be proxy camping. They could be face camping. Like face in your crotch, staring at you until you get unhooked, hitting you twice as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were proxy camping, if they were kind of floating the area, you'll still get that unhook anti-camp.
Yeah.
Before it was kind of an issue of, I have this uncamp meter, survivors are hovering, the killer is deciding to kind of circle around the hook without actually keeping an eye on me, and I wasn't getting anti-camp, and my survivors weren't able to unhook me. Now I think that'll not happen. I think if the killer has to proxy camp you from 30 meters away, it's not really proxy camping. They're just heading back to hook immediately.
Exactly. So
It's
like
a
very
little
nice.
awkward, but now it's less awkward. Much
Yeah.
less.
Like I do think there are going to be some things they change, like the 7 second grace period might be reduced a little bit. Maybe they'll change how the meter fills by like 0, 10, 20. We'll have to wait and see. But now that we kind of said our piece about anti-camping, let's talk about the anti-tunneling system. So they kind of got rid of the entire old anti-tunneling system that we had in the last BTB, and instead we have this new alternative. So when a survivor gets unhooked, they get additional protections. So in addition to their 10% haste and endurance for a small amount of time, we also get the new stats effect that was shown in the last PTB, elusive. So you no longer have your aura shown, you don't leave pools of blood, no scratch marks, grunts of pain, no sounds at all. So that includes coughing, vomiting, screaming, any of that. So for like 10, 20 seconds, you're basically invisible.
It'll be
So
30. It'll be 30 seconds if
30
you
seconds.
don't deactivate it.
Yeah. And just to keep in mind, if you do a conspicuous action, this all goes away. Specifically, I think, yeah, everything just goes away after that. Additionally, when you get unhooked, you're going to have immunity to AFK crows for a set amount of time. You'll be able to see the killer's aura in a 32-meter radius for 10 seconds. And you also lose collision, so survivors can't really use that endurance offensively, thankfully.
Or
And
you still will have collision. You will have
uh,
collision with the killer.
yeah, you do have collision with the killer, but not with other survivors, I think is what the is it.
It was kind of an awkward way of phrasing it, but in the last PTV, you had no collision with the killer, and people were finding that you were able to just kind of like slowly walk in front of the killer the entire time you had endurance, in the entire time you had it. So they brought back the collision.
Okay.
So you will be able to body block the killer with your endurance.
I believe maybe.
You will.
Okay, interesting, interesting. I don't know how to feel about that, but interesting. Additionally, these effects will linger for 3 seconds after you've been healed. So you get to like keep it a little bit after you get unhooked, so you can have like get comfortable and go somewhere else. Pretty good. Uh, However, these buffs when you get unhooked will be gone during endgame, except for the haste and endurance, and you get to keep those for 10 seconds, like normal. And yeah, really interesting changes on the survivor side. We do have some on the killer side, some benefits. Interesting. So, interestingly, when you hook a survivor, you get a unique bonus for each unique hook. So, the first thing you get when you hook someone that isn't the last person you hooked, you get Bloodlust Tier 1 for 15 seconds. However, this Bloodlust is a little whack because it resets when you enter Chase, aka it goes gone. You lose this effect altogether if all the gens are done, and you lose the Bloodlust if you use your ability, start Chase, or break a pallet/wall. So, it's alright. But there is another bonus, thankfully, a stacking BP multiplier. Now, I'm not really sure how this worked from how it worded, but CV thankfully corrected me before this episode. For each unique survivor you've hooked, you get a 10% blood point multiplier on the match score at the end of a trial. I thought it was 120. No, no, no. It's 40% at maximum. So if you hook each survivor once without hooking anyone back to back, you get a 40% multiplier to your blood points at the end of the match. Not amazing, but it's pretty nice. It's solid. It's there. Additionally, they buff score events related to hooking and the hook states. You get a little golden hook mark on your little hook circle to be like, yeah, you did it good. And they also changed some other stuff, but we'll get into that a bit later. So, Stevie, what do we think about these anti-camping features?
The anti-tunneling.
Anti-tunnel.
These are the controversial ones. The anti-tunneling. Ooh, where to start?
Mm-hmm.
I think the best way to think of it from someone, I will be honest, I am biased. My perspective is, oh wow, my playstyle got buffed. I don't tunnel. I like to get 4 hooks, one on each survivor before I try to kill anyone. I like to chase everyone an even amount of time, depending on how long you last in chase, you
Exactly.
might play with me longer.
Yeah.
But I don't play for the 4K. I'm a dog shit killer. I usually get like 1 to 3 kills every game. But when I look at this and I think about the survivor side of things, I think that these changes make it so you just get a chance if you get unhooked. If you really get gunned out by the killer, it's not really going to feel any different. If the survivor is able to run to a strong loop, get a stun, and keep running to another strong tile, they might be able to lose the killer really fucking quick. But if the killer is hellbent on tunneling one person out, they're going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that, like, that's your best chance at winning. And I mean, it really was your best chance of winning was tunneling someone out and making it a 3v1. Now you're kind of have to deal with four survivors who are all at the same level of strength. No one's going to be a weak link just because you hooked them once or twice.
More weak links, basically. I mean, they'll still be there if you find them again, but it's no longer kind of like a chain reaction where you down them, hook them, the person unhooks them, they run away, you find them again, and then you kill them. Like, it's not going to be like that anymore. Now you actually kind of have to look for other people instead of being like, I hope I find Jimmy so I can break his legs. No more Jimmy break legs.
Right? It very
Exactly.
much was like if you thought you needed to kill Jimmy to win the match, it's going to be tough. If you really
Exactly.
got hell bent on killing that one person, it's going to be tough.
Overall, it's gonna be. I feel like these changes are good. I would change probably some of the times. Like, I don't feel like it should be 30 seconds. I feel like that's a little much, but I feel like overall these are good changes, especially for me as like you, Stevie. I don't like tunneling. I don't like camping. I like to hook everyone once before I start going for other people again. And also, I just really hate when I'm playing killer and I'm chasing someone and then they run to hook and unhook right in my face. It's like, dude, what the fuck? And then
It gives you that tough choice of like,
yeah,
well, I have to keep going for you because you're running to a zone that I've already kind of secured. I've put a hook
yeah,
person there and you're running into it. This is
mhm,
my territory. I kind of do need to punish you for doing that. Oh, you
yeah,
got the unhook? Well, I can't really snowball off that because
yeah,
they have 30 seconds of haste, 30
yeah,
seconds of endurance, 30
exactly.
seconds of off the record.
Yeah. And you know what's worse? You know what's worse is when I go hook somebody, go away, go to a generator, I kick it, hear the unhook, I see no one else. I'm like, okay, I'll go back to hook because there's nowhere for me to go. I go there, the unhooker has just disappeared. And the person who just got unhooked is like running away, like, please leave me alone. It's like, I don't want to hurt you. But also, there's no one else. Everyone is hiding. Everyone's in the locker.
This
Why would
this
I
is a
spend
frequent
two,
occurrence.
5 minutes looking for one guy when I could just go for you, Jimmy? Now
I
it's
will
actually
say
forcing me
it's
to go find
you're
someone
right.
else.
You're entirely right. There's not a lot of scenarios where the killer wants to tunnel, but there's a lot of scenarios where the killer realizes their only information in the moment, their only fresh information to search a survivor off of is the unhook. They knew
Exactly.
what the location was, they knew what the situation was, they knew that there's at least two survivors. That's half the team, the
Mhm.
unhooked and the unhooker. And if you are the unhooker and you just hide, walk around a tile, maybe hide in a locker or hold a check spot, you can guarantee the killer has no information. You can guarantee there's no scratch marks from you or the unhooked person. You can sort of just linger around. Maybe the killer looks for you or the other person. They're going to have a hard time with this new patch. So I think it's not that they're killing anti tunneling, but they're entirely killing going back to hook. There
Yeah, I would
used
agree
to
with that.
be like the strategy of, well, I'll go back to hook. I'm not intending to tunnel. I am looking for the survivor who did the unhooking.
Exactly.
If you are the unhooker, you have a big chance to just stealth it out after the unhook. Don't do anything altruistic after unhooking, and you'll still be fine.
Exactly. So, like,
It it used
yeah,
to be an issue of if you unhooked someone and you didn't try to body block for them, if you didn't try to make the heal happen or guide them to a safe location on the map, that was bad for your whole team. You're
yeah.
leaving your weak link exposed, and now you don't have to worry about that. Now, as a survivor, you can unhook someone and walk away to a corner of the map, and the killer has no information. Even if they heard the unhook, even if they were close by, they won't be able to do anything about it.
Yeah. It's just not great, but I'm glad these changes are happening because now it's gonna be like, hey, no more go back to Hook Jimmy's. Or I can't use Jimmy, I already used Jimmy. No more going back to Hook Jesse's.
Going
Now
back
it's
to hook Jesse's.
now it's more Chase Andy's. Yes. Something really interesting though about these changes is, well, besides all the changes, is that you can actually disable these specific changes for camping and tunneling in a custom game on the PTB. I don't know if this is going to make it too live, but if it does, I find this really interesting because this directly affects the competitive scene. If you don't know, in the competitive scene, camping and tunneling is kind of like the mandatory for the killers in these scenarios because these survivors who are really good, they're going to be pumping out gens, they're going to be taking body blocks, and they're going to be really good in chase. So you really need to get out that first survivor so you can kind of like get a more control over the map and the players. Because at 4, you're not going to win. But at 3, there's a chance. And that's really important in Comp Dead by Daylight. So what I find really interesting is this is kind of like one of the few times Dead by Daylight has officially like looked at the comp scene and be like, yeah, I noticed you. So I find that really interesting. I'm not really a fan of comp DBD. I'm not very good at comp DBD, but it is something that is of note and I know people care for. And I am appreciating that they're doing that for the people who do really like comp DBD.
I want to give a quick nod to the competitive DVD players because yes, you're right. This feels like it because they mention custom games. Every competitive Dead by Daylight match happens in a custom game. It's the only
Like it
way to
has
pit one killer against 4 specific survivors. It's the
Mhm.
only way to keep a tournament from devolving into randomness.
Yeah.
And
Randos.
in a competitive setting, they do limit a couple things. They limit perk choices, they limit killer and map choices so that it's what they consider even. And these are people who
Okay.
have thousands of hours and can kind of understand where the balance is at, and they can understand how to make it a watchable experience. A lot of competitive DVD is balanced around, right, well, we're not going to make these games a wash. We're not going to let one side roll over the other because we understand what it looks like when one side rolls over the other.
Exactly.
For competitive players, a couple of these changes feel like they're targeted at you.
100%. Yeah. Especially with like the anti-tunnel.
And a couple of the add-on changes, I will mention those
We will be
anti-tunneling
getting to that.
changes that they did to 2 specific add-ons. 2
We
specific
will be
add-ons
getting,
were changed because of their tunneling capabilities. And I think that
or
those 2 add-ons were shown way more often in competitive scenes than in regular
yes,
games.
yes,
It's very much a case of why was this changed? And then you realize there's a small subsect of the community that used them, and it's kind of what they were wanting changed.
exactly. They were serving too much con. They were flying too close to the sun, so we had to change it.
Yep.
But yes, yeah, just really interesting changes all around. I like that you can disable them. I don't know if this is making it to live. Bryson did have one comment on these changes. He says, I like these improvements, although I wish they would also address the progress bar when killers are camping on another floor. Example, standing above basement or on the second floor of a two-story map to camp. This would be, in my mind, like Hawkins, for example. So, yeah, interesting thoughts
And
from
that's
Bryson.
kind of that's kind of a nod to people thinking that, oh, this is just base kit kindred. If I see the survivor's anti-camp bar filling up, I know the killer's nearby. That's just
Exactly.
kindred. But it's a little different, right? The killer could be on the second floor waiting to fall down onto the first floor.
Exactly. A little bit of spice, if you will. No, moving on to some other
Anyway,
spice.
yeah.
Sorry. What?
No, go for it. Go to the next one. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're not. Don't worry about cutting me off, please.
But moving on, talking about some more spice, we got the anti-slugging features, which I feel like for the most part on the other PTB, like the one before this, people were like, yeah, decent, good. Could be a little too down, but good. And that was kind of reflected in these changes. So this can also be disabled in custom games, that should be noted. But the main changes to anti-slugging is you can no longer move and recover at the same time. No longer base kit tenacity. You have to pick one or the other, which was kind of the main point Bryson made when these changes come out, and I kind of paired. Yeah, it felt a little too much, a little too good for free. So I'm glad that
Even
they're
if you weren't being slugged, the smart play was always move
just
away
move.
from where you were got downed, keep
Exactly.
moving away from hooks. There was no like decision to be made.
Yeah. Additionally, they make it so the pickup meter, not like they're recovering. So this is like the secondary bar that's increasing when you're just naturally on the ground that you don't have any control over. This has now been moved to 120 seconds. I believe on the PTB before it was like 80 or 90, maybe even 60, but it
Yeah,
was
it
not
was
over
just
100.
90.
It was 90, yeah. So now it's 120, which I was the one who was like, hey, maybe it should be like 2 minutes. So I'm smart. Yes.
Put her on the
So
balance team.
yeah, basically I am the balance team. But additionally, they did add another thing where the bar will fill 33% faster for every other survivor in the dying state, which I actually really like. So it's kind of like punishing intentional sucking. Now, I feel like it should be kind of changed so it's a bit slower at 2 survivors versus 3 or 4, because if it's 2, It could be accidental. Like, if I'm going to pick someone up a pallet, but there's a survivor nearby with a flashlight and I down them too, I feel like it's a little weird that they're both getting anti-slug when they deliberately put themselves in that situation. Versus where if it's three, then it's like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this on purpose. That's a little scummy, a little weird. There are two more changes. Tenacity changes are coming to the perk because we're no longer getting the crawl and recover. Makes sense. Bryson said, fuck yeah! And additionally, crawling speed has been increased from 0.7 meters per second to 1.05. And that's just really
That'll
interesting.
yeah, that'll increase the longer you're left on the ground. Even if no one else is slugged, you'll still increase your qual speed the longer you're on the
Yeah.
ground.
Like you're getting some muscle in there. You're like starting to like do some cardio, I guess, on the ground.
And
I guess
this will
it's
kind of help
running
you just
crawl.
kind of point yourself at an exit gate and just straight for it in the end game, or point
Oh,
yourself
pairing
towards
that
the
up with
corner of the
tenacity
map.
though. Oh, you're gonna be a fast
You
slug.
will.
You will be
If you're on the floor for
speed.
45 seconds and you don't have unbreakable and the killer has left you slugged and you have tenacity, you're gonna be kind of zooming.
Yeah, you're gonna be a little fast, dearest. A little speedy. Yeah. But any major thoughts on the anti-slugging changes besides kind of what we've iterated before?
I think this adds more decisions. Sometimes you'd
Yes.
be in a game as Survivor and like two people would go down, and you would tell yourself, "Oh gosh, do I keep working on this generator? Do I go for the unhook? Do I find my injured teammate? What do I do?" There are two people on the ground, and I know the killer is next to one of them. He just downed them, and I know he knows where the other one is. He downed them 30 seconds ago. There's not a lot. You're decision
Yeah.
paralyzed. And with this change, you can kind of rely on time now that it's on your side. If you keep working on that generator, maybe 40 seconds goes by, and then the survivors have halfway to their base kit unbreakable. You can then go run to a corner, take a chase, and then watch them get up on their own. Before, it was a very solid case of you've lost the game. There are two survivors on the ground, and the killer doesn't decide to hook either of them. You've lost the game because now your third teammate is in a chase. They're going down eventually. You have to sneak in and pick up two people. That's
Watch out, we're toast.
impossible for most players.
It's
I'll be
over.
honest. Not a lot
Yeah.
of people are running like Wiglif botany knowledge made for this. Not a lot of people are running that on their own without deciding to play with a friend who knows the deal.
Yeah.
Now you can kind of guarantee it's not a lose-lose situation if you're the last survivor standing up and all three of your teammates are on the floor. Now you can hide it out. Now you know the game is in your favor because they have to hook.
There's a chance. You've got a chance. It's
You
not
have to
over.
hook now.
Yes. And that's kind of basically everything with anti-slugging. I feel basically the same way. Nice that you kind of get some power.
It
Nice
keeps
that
the
killers
game
aren't
moving.
punished.
It doesn't let there be more win conditions than you're already expecting.
Exactly. Exactly. Moving on from the anti-slugging changes, we have some map changes. The most notable one is probably with the Autohaven map. They changed the lighting drastically, and they added some fog to the map, and it gives it a whole new vibe. It kind of goes from like a little OG Autohaven to kind of like a trailer Autohaven, which I find really interesting. Like it's a bit brighter. It's kind of like the Walking Dead maps, but I don't know. I kind of fuck with it. I think it's really cool. What do you think?
I have to see it in game. I mean, once it comes to live, I'll have a good feel for it.
Yeah.
Autohaven has been kind of what I feel as like the archetypical balanced map. If you get something like Azerov's, that's a little different.
I was gonna say Azarov.
Azerov's is a much different story because whenever I play Azerov's, I lose as killer if I don't decide to 3-gen from the start of the map.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's always been the case with Azerov's. It's just the geometry.
Yep.
But things like Wrecker's Yard, one of my favorite fucking maps. I love maps that are just a shack in the middle with tiles around it.
Yeah. Maybe you'll love it more now that it's more green, more kind of like a bright green. Ooh,
I might be into that.
oozing with flavor. Another thing that people aren't really talking about is the underground complex, which is the Hawkins map, aka from Stranger Things. They strangely did some balancing for it. Mainly, they made it so it's less complicated to maneuver. I haven't really tried it, but interesting wording. In the Rift Room, quote unquote, it's the room at the far end of the map,
The
opposite to
portal
the
room with the
second
glass
floor.
window and the
Yeah, the glass
double layer
window,
generator
or
on
the little
top.
weird booty hole in the wall. They made it so that the gen that can spawn on the second floor above like the little glass room, you now have two ways to get in there. Because before there was only one way, which was kind of like this little walkway. That was the only way to get in. There was no way to get out. Now there is two. So that's really nice. Additionally, they fixed the map. So now when you go into a room, there's more than one door open. So you're no longer just trapped if you go into a room sometimes and the killer's like, no, no, no. Now you actually have a way to get out.
And yes, they'll
Uh,
always have a sliding door open on one side of it.
exactly. This map I feel like will be more liked because I like this map already, so I'm gonna like it probably a bit more.
A lot of
Additionally,
people didn't realize how strong that rift room window was.
oh
That
yeah, no,
one
that was such a
window,
crazy good room.
if okay, the term shift tech might not hit a lot of people's brains because DBD is a lot of XYZ tech, the Chungus tech, the super duper tech, the dumb tech. These feel fake. But the shift tech was a way to avoid getting in a chase if the killer was looking at you. You just wouldn't sprint. You
Yeah,
would walk to a window and then fast vault it, and that didn't count as running in the killer's line of sight. That wouldn't trigger a chase. You wouldn't trigger window blocking.
yeah,
What
and it
that
was
meant
so good on that one
on
specific
that
little glass
one
room.
window. You could
Exactly.
medium vault it over and over, run back around to it, lose chase before you got to it, and then walk to it as they're looking at you, and then medium vault it again without making a chase happen. You'd get infinite vaults on this
Yeah,
one window that was long enough and visible enough for you to see the killer.
yeah,
They
and they're not
couldn't
getting
mind game you.
bloodlust either, which makes it
They're
so much
not.
worse because they're not getting chased, so
They
they're
would
not getting
need
the thing.
bamboozle
You need
or a
them.
killer power.
Yeah, it's not great, but probably won't be happening as much if the
Yep,
less complicated to maneuver was taken into mind.
exactly.
We'll have to wait and see, though. Additionally, maps in general now have improved map prevention systems, so you are not as likely to get the same map again and again, especially if all five players are the same ones from the last match. So if you somehow miraculously queue in the same five in a random match, you're not gonna get like Hawkins if you're on Hawkins the game before. So pretty solid. It's all right. Nothing really to note besides yay. I don't have to go to Badham for the eighth fucking time. I hate Badham. I hate that fucking map. I hate him. I hate that stupid bitch. Sorry.
I'm
I just
curious how
not
this
a fan.
also works with the idea of like map offerings, like, right, if you bring like a midwich offering and your killer last played their match on midwich, it's just useless now. It's
Yeah.
just guaranteed to not happen. Or maybe it might. Maybe there's a small chance it'll happen.
And if all five of you are in the same match and you bring a Badham offering and you're all on Badham, not gonna happen.
I'm curious,
Eliminated.
right? Like it's hard to
Forgot.
tell what's happening under the hood because it's all percentage chances.
Yes. Additionally, we got some AFK Crow changes. Pretty simple. I like it. It went from 80. It went from 120, 140, 190 down to 80, 100, 120. More consistent. Like this. I don't know why tier 3 was 190 seconds. Like, hello.
Yeah, in the last 3 months I haven't seen anyone get crows.
Yeah, so thank you. They did some UI changes. Scratch marks can now be changed.
This is the big one. This is great.
Yes. So if you really can't differentiate red like I can, like I don't have great eyesight. That seeing from my glasses, I'm not great at telling things apart. And a map and maps where it's just fucking red, like old Borgo with the old scratch marks. So not great. But now you can change them to all kinds of different colors, like a orange, a piss yellow, green, purple, pink. I kind of low key fuck with the pink. The pink is kind of iconic, and blue.
I hear that.
So that's really cool.
Are you gonna change your scratch marks to a color, or are you gonna keep them red?
I think I'm gonna keep them red for now. But if I find that like, oh, I'm starting to not really do great in chases, I might just change it because what is really interesting about these scratch mark change color options is you can do them during a match. You don't have to wait before or after. So if you're in the middle of a match, you're like, it's too red, boom, green, you're welcome. Or you can make it like white if you're a freak like that. Oh god, white
I think I'm
scratch
gonna
marks on
change it to
Ormond?
white. I think
Oh,
I'm gonna change it to white. I'll be honest. Like it,
but imagine on Ormond! You're not gonna find shit!
I know what
Like
you
it's
mean,
done. Oh, that should
but
be a
the fact
talent
that it's
actually.
white with a black border, that might, to me, kind of resonate a little better. I
Hey, I
either
mean,
might
if you
change it to pink or white.
fuck with it, like if
I'm
you're fucking with it,
curious.
you fuck with it. Exactly. They're also changing the settings menu layout in general. Like they're not going to change like where things are. It's just going to look nicer, which I'm happy because how do I say it in the nicest way? The settings menu was ugly. It was ugly. So I'm glad they're changing it. Yahoo.
I hope
Another
they move the
quality
FOV slider. The FOV slider used to just be in its own tab, the
for some
beta
fucking reason.
changes tab.
For some fucking reason. It was weird. Additionally, another quality of life feature, they're removing the intro video after you see it once. So no more hearing fucking he wasn't programmed to harm the crew
This
every
holiday
single time.
season,
Or the Sadako tape or the curse of the Krasu. No more seeing that constantly. You see
you're
it
gonna
once
see the teaser one time.
and then no more until the next update when there's a new teaser. But I like that. Good. No more random cutscene.
I don't have to
Yippee.
spam spacebar when I'm booting the game up. I can
Exactly. It's
just
not like
get into the lobby.
let's move on. Let's move
Mhm.
on to some more killer add-on and survivor changes and perk changes because there is quite a few and some interesting ones that people have been talking about.
Big time.
Starting off with kind of the big one, Skull Merchant got some changes. She might no longer be Poopy Caca. This is not her rework, by the way. They might be canceling the rework. Keyword is might, depending on how people like these changes. If people love these changes, they're not going to do the rework. But if people are like, or there's not really a general positive reaction, they will continue with this. This is kind of like a band aid. Or it could be permanent, depending if we love the band aid. Or we're like, yeah, I fuck with this band aid. Anyways, these changes are the drone rotation speed got increased. There's an increased hindered penalty. You got decreased drone deploy cooldown. We got decreased undetectability from drones. Removed fast fall immunity to scan lines. Every 2.5 seconds, standing under a drone, survivors gain a lock-on stack. And we decreased the killer detection range from the drone. So it's kind of like give and take, which I mean the nicest way possible. Why do they keep fucking doing this? I'm sorry, behavior, but like, can we not nerf something while we're buffing? Like, can we just get one buff and be like, yeah, cooking? Why is it always like, yeah, Skull Merchant? Now your drones, you can deploy them faster, but your Insidious is shorter for some reason. We got rid of immunity when you're vaulting from getting scanned on, but we made the lines shorter. Like, why? Why? Why?
I
Stevie,
think that
thoughts?
I think they have an idea of how they want Skull Merchant to play, and it never happens. I
Yeah,
think they want her to control an area and be able to lock down a zone, but they don't want her to be able to keep survivors from breaking that zone. They have to make it so it's easy to disable her power, it's easy to take down an individual drone once at a time, but they also don't want that to be too strong in a chase. They don't want the survivor to have too much power against the killer's own ability. And I think that's what you see in, like, she can still chase around her drones, she can still force you to vault a window over and over, and she'll get benefit from it.
yeah,
But now she can't just drop a drone at the loop you're on and drop a drone at the next loop you go to and drop a drone at the third loop you go to. Now she kind of has to do one, get value out of it, and move on to the next interaction.
yeah. Okay, maybe I was just being a dick. Now I feel kind of bad now you pointed that out.
It's, to me, feels like they've taken away all of the hammers to the skull that they did to her the last few changes. Now
Yeah,
they want her to be in kind of this state that she's in right now, at least for a little while longer.
yeah.
And I'm curious to play her. I'll be honest, if the community is still going to probably DC against her. There's a couple killers that, like, if you down somebody as them, they will DC. It doesn't matter how strong they are. It doesn't matter how well you played. They just DC'd because they got downed by Wraith. They got downed by Skull Merchant. They got downed by
Love the
Kaneki.
ghoul.
Yep.
The Kursu now. Mostly the ghoul.
Yep. People
This is
like
actually
DCing as soon as they got downed by X killer.
yeah. Honestly, haven't have seen that happen with Kursu anymore. Like when she first came out, people did that, but like honestly, right now, she's been slaying. Good for her. She's like kind of comfy. Sorry, unrelated. I just started thinking about her. I was like, yeah, she slays.
Yeah, like, haven't seen her much, but she's killing it.
She's killing literally arg. Sorry. Moving on from the skull merchant changes, Trickster got some updates. Trickster is still getting his update, which is like the big gameplay overhaul for him. He's still gonna be 419s, but there's gonna be like some other stuff they tease. But these are just some changes we're getting on the PTB to kind of like keep us fed, all of us Trickster mains, not me, but you all. They just made it so his again his updates in development, but they said that they're going to be bringing him some style, and they want it to be very visually cool. And I lied. They're not bringing any
Yeah,
changes.
they
I thought
didn't
they were bringing
touch him.
changes.
They didn't touch him today.
Not today. I thought they did. I was wrong. I'm sorry, audience. They will be. They will be. I don't know why we put him in the patch. Why did I put him there? Anyways, yeah. There was a little teaser in the community live stream where some letters were capitalized on his little slide that spelled out style. Some people are guessing he's gonna get like a Dante like combo meter, which I'm kind of looking forward to if that's the case. Because I want to get like a radical. If I get like 10 hits on Survivor without missing, like that would be cool. I would like that. No more spamming knives. Now it's like bam, 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 headshot. Sorry. Anyways,
That'd be interesting, right? You actually get like
yeah,
a precision bonus for like not hitting their legs or their hands. You get like
yeah.
you got a
Ooh.
headshot. Two
A
knives count
trickster
as
actually
one.
being kind of a trickster?
Who knows? Who knows?
That would be
Like, what
crazy.
can you do to him? Yeah.
Yes. Now let's get to the minor killer changes. Myers, the Slaughtering Strike now has normal-esque camera controls. Not normal camera controls, normal, similar camera controls. So it's no more long. I don't think it's no longer vertical heavy. It's more normal, which is weird that they just don't use normal camera controls, but who am I to say? What am I to say? Cenobites, he had one of his add-ons nerfed and also got nerfed. The nerf is that his possessed chain can no longer restrain survivors with the endurance status effect. Not when they're in deep wound, when they have the endurance status effect. So, interesting. You can no longer chain a survivor that got off hook. That's probably the main reason why they did that. They don't want people to just tunnel. Additionally, the original pain, yes. That add-on got reworked. It used to be before when you chained a survivor with a possessed chain and then hit them, they got into deep wound. Now, when a survivor breaks free from a possessed chain, their aura is revealed for 8 seconds. Not bad. The old one's definitely better, but it's healthier this way.
It was better before, but this is we'll bring it back to the competitive scene. You would see
Yeah.
this add-on run on competitive Cenobites, and it made him considered a strong killer because he would walk back to a hook, send his possessed chain power against the unhooked survivor. They would get hooked and have to break free from the chain. And as soon as they broke free, they would lose their endurance because they're now in deep wound from the add-on, and he could just M1 them and put them on the ground. This made him an effective tunneler.
Yes. Speaking of
This
effective
has changed.
tunneling. Oh, sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
That's all. That's it.
Oh,
It was changed. They just gutted that one interaction with
yes.
one add-on in one tunneling ability.
Yes. Speaking of which, another killer that got affected by this is the Singularity. His add-on, the Soma Family Photo, has now been changed. So when they buffed it and then nerfed it. So the buff is when you're slipstreaming a survivor, you inflict hindered on them for 6 seconds. Originally, it was 3. So when you're in your camera mode and you teleport to a survivor, they are hindered for 6 seconds instead of 3. Awesome. What they removed is now when you're in the slipstream mode and you would hit a survivor, they would go into deep wound. This is no longer a thing. That part has been removed entirely from this add-on. Probably for the same reason, I'm assuming, with
Yeah.
Pinhead.
Oh, yeah. Exact same interaction. You would
Yeah.
slipstream to a survivor that was still infected after getting unhooked, and you would break their endurance without giving them a speed boost, and you would down them because they're injured and slap them and they're on the floor.
Yes, so good changes overall. Now, the perk changes, the one I'm pretty excited for.
There's
Uh,
one killer perk changed in this whole thing, and oh my gosh, is that change overblown?
People are upset about this. People are like, why did they change this? And we're going to tell you this, listeners and viewers. It's Furtive Chase, a perk from the Ghostface. Originally, I don't really know what it does anymore. I believe it's when you hooked a obsession, you got undetectable and haste for 30 seconds, if I'm correct.
You're right.
Yes, I'm right. I'm smart.
I don't know about the 30 seconds, but I'm assuming that's it was like 10 or 30, I
It
forget.
was like 20 something seconds. you just get like a little bonus for hooking your obsession. Slag. That has now been reworked to this. When your obsession is hooked, you gain a token, up to 5 tokens. For each token, you decrease your terror radius by 10%. When your obsession is unhooked, the rescuer becomes your new obsession. People are upset about this. Let's talk about it. Stevie, why are people upset about this?
I think people kind of imagined Furtive Chase wasn't going to get changed after it got changed 2 or 3 times, but it has kind of always been the least picked, killer perk for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to unhooking the obsession. You get undetectable, you get haste. That makes it usable. You can hook someone and immediately go as far as you want away from the hook and do something else with value. It benefited people who didn't like to tunnel. It benefited people who liked to spread pressure and get value out of making a new chase happen. And this is good. That was good. But now this change makes me think that everyone fell in love with Furtive Chase over the last few months. The way people are talking about it, it's like they gutted their baby in front of them. No one was running Furtive Chase except, every few killers who wanted a meme build or somebody needed a perk to synergize with friends till the end. They would run Furtive Chase and they were like, whoa, this is strong. I could walk upon the obsession without, kind of worrying about them noticing me. I can get information on where a survivor is halfway across the map, and then I can down them really fast and then get exposed on somebody else.
Yeah.
That was a cool combo.
Yeah.
This is a unique perk now.
Yeah, my only real guess why I got kind of gutted low-key is because combining that perk with some other perks with the new killer bloodlust bonus, it would feel like, hey, why not run this? Furtive Chase is actually really good now, because not only do I get a speed increase, now that goes with my other speed, I'm like blazing across the map. So all the low tier, mid tier killers
and undetectable. Yeah.
And you're undetectable too. So everyone's a self killer basically. So I kind of see why they did that, but also like they kind of just lowered the haste down, but kept the insidious up. I feel like they could have done like a give and take as much as I hated. They could have done that, but yeah, just weird all around. Or maybe they just didn't want people to tunnel the obsession for the benefits, but it's like, no one's gonna do that for 3 times, so like a minute total worth of insidious and haste. Like, no.
This new change makes it almost exactly like its original form.
It's original. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
They increased by like 4 meters or something like that.
Exactly. It was like for every obsession hook, you get a token minus 4 meters
or
radius.
something. It was really bad, and now it's bad again. Why did they do that?
Now it's bad again. I'm just thinking of the possibilities of like, okay, Kaneki has 5 hooks on, 3 of them are on obsessions. Now Kaneki has 30% decreased terror radius, and now he's a 28 meter terror radius killer. That would be fucking scary. And I think if you were worried about this perk being gutted, just keep playing with it, play around it a little differently. If you think survivors pre-run from you pretty often, this is the perk for you.
Exactly. Snake up on them.
I'm curious to see who this works on. Finding the obsession and downing the obsession is hard to do without a specific build like Friends Till the End
or Nemesis.
Right? It's tough to see this perk working without another perk like it was before. It was tough to see that one working without another perk. But this very much needs some help to work. But it's a strong buff that cannot be cleansed by the survivors. It's not a Devour. It's not a Huntress Lullaby. It's stacks. It's like Dying Light, where you will have to deal with this perk the entire match, and you will have to deal with it getting stronger.
Exactly. It's just weird. But yeah, it's been changed. Now, let's move on to the survivor perks, because a lot of them got touched. And
a lot of them got touched considering that a lot of their effects are now rolled into the base game.
Yeah, and not gonna lie, one of these changes, I think it's near the end of our notes. Oh, it needs to be changed. Sorry. Let's start with the first one, which is Babysitter. Oh, sorry. What's up?
I said roll through them. Go for it. Blaze through it.
We're gonna speedrun. Babysitter. After you unhook a survivor, see that survivor and killer's aura for 20, 25, 30 seconds. Pretty good, actually, because the old one was kind of weird, and this one's pretty good. Like it. Interesting.
The old one's now basically base kit. Now every survivor you unhook will get
those
current slash
benefits.
old
Yeah.
babysitter.
So now Babysitter is kind of neat. I like it. It's niche. Borrow Time. This is the one I really like. Now when you unhook a survivor with this perk, they have the ability to fully recover from the state, aka being slugged for 90, 60, 80, and 100 seconds. You give everybody Unbreakable for 100 seconds. I really like that. Really fits with Bill. Hell yeah. Any thoughts
It's
before I move
interesting,
on?
right? Like if you unhook someone and you have this iteration of borrowed time, you can kind of run at the killer and make sure that they have to hit you twice before they even think about going after the other survivor. And then if you're on the floor, they either hook you or they go for the survivor you unhooked. And if they go for the survivor you unhooked, maybe they down them and grab them and get DS'd, or maybe they down them and grab them and hook them. You're on the floor and you're like, well, we tried. But if
Exactly.
they down them, go back to you because they're worried about you getting picked up. Now your teammate who you unhooked, you've given them BT.
It's
You've
value.
sacrificed your life. You sacrificed a perk slot and they're up and running and fine and you've
Yeah.
wasted so much time. I think
That
this is
and Shovel
interesting.
Burden is going to be a neat combo. I'm going
Oh
to love that
gosh.
combo.
Yeah.
Moving on. Breakdown. They kind of nerfed this for some fucking reason. After you are unhooked, the hook breaks for 90 seconds, down from 180. Additionally, if you are unhooked, you increase the speed at which others heal you by 100% for 30, 60, 90 seconds. No one's going to use this perk. Let's be for real. No one's going to pick fucking Breakout. They
Yes, you're
nerfed
right.
it. Moving on. Off the record. They removed the status effect, the endurance status effect from this perk, and instead increased the duration to 60, 70, and 80, up from 30, 35, 40. Pretty
And this
simple.
is on its regular effects. This is on its aura hiding, its scratch
And,
marks, and its
and all of
iron
that.
will effect.
Which is kind of redundant with the changes, but it's fine. It's whatever. It's a little niche now, but it's fine. This is the one I really want to talk to. Wicked. Your self unhook attempts in the basement always succeed. Same as ever. However, this is the two parts that make me kind of like, ugh. When unhooked from the basement, you gain 50% healing progress. Additionally, anytime you are unhooked, you do not make a loud noise notification. Why? Why are we making the basement something survivors want to go to? I don't like that. And combining this with the perk Resurgence, when you are unhooked, aka when you unhook yourself from the basement, you will fully heal. You will be at healthy. That feels wrong. No, don't do that.
It
Enough.
feels wrong. It does. It's
Yeah,
a very knowledge check kind of perk. If you chase a
yeah.
survivor and all of a sudden you injure them and they run to main building and run into the basement and jump in a locker, you
You
might
know
be
what they're
asking yourself,
doing.
what are
You
you
know what they're
doing?
doing.
But
I hate
if you
that.
know that Wicked is in play,
Yeah, but I hate it. I'm sorry. Change this.
I think
Like, you
that
could have just stopped.
if you have two perks to make yourself healthy after one hook state, it really has to be a specific situation where that like loses you the game.
Yeah. Honestly, if they just kept the no noise notification when you unhook yourself and unhooking yourself from basement, fine. Don't add the 50%. So dumb. I hate
I liked
it.
running Wicked in its current state where you get unhooked and you see the killer no matter where they are for 30 seconds. I thought that
Exactly.
was
Let's go back to
bonkers.
bots. Let's go back to bots. I'm all fun. Tenacity, not much. They just re-added the ability to recover while crawling. They'll probably see some use, not a whole lot, but some use. And finally, Conviction, another minor change. You now have to heal another survivor for it to activate. Previously, you could do this with yourself, and with Plot Twist, you could do it forever. So people didn't really like that.
Right? You
Uh,
could use Conviction after it was activated. You could
yeah,
go down, pick yourself up with Conviction, put
and then
yourself down with
yeah,
Plot Twist, heal yourself with Plot Twist, and have Conviction back.
exactly. It's dumb. Yeah, so they changed that. Totally fine. That is the speed round done. There's just a lot of survivor perks we got for that. Now we can go back to being slow. We're fine. All right, we're gonna be talking about the survivor item and add-on changes, which only two add-ons got changed, which are kind of the big ones: Septic Agent and Anti-Hemorrhagic Syringe. So Anti-Hemorrhagic Syringe is the big one. You no longer heal over time when you use this. You still consume the mid kit, but instead it instantly removes exhaustion. And I and a few other people agree this is kind of like an upgrade, a side grade, or at worst case, an upgrade. Because
It's a complete rework, right? It's hard to
yeah,
call it a buff or a nerf flat
yeah,
out, but
I
you'll
think
see different situations in which
I
it's
think it's
used.
definitely gonna be a buff though, because like with higher tier killers or high tier killers like Nurse and Blight, you can hit people again really quickly. So that didn't really matter. It really affected the middle tier and the low tier because it takes so much more effort for them to injure you. But now with exhaustion and the right exhaustion build, so let's say you're using like live or overcome, it's gonna be a lot harder for those people to get, or not overcome actually, like live or smash it or dead hard. Now it's going to be a lot harder for the high tier killers, but also still for the middle tier and low tier killers because they still have to catch up with you after you use exhaustion. So to me, it just feels like an upgrade. Like, yeah, you can't be like more cocky and like do a generator injured and be out in the open while you're getting healed over time. But like, if I have sprint burst, I'm doing that anyways, and I see like a nurse coming up to me, pop my medkit, boom, I'm gone. It also just makes no sense. Anti-hemorrhagic and exhaustion? This isn't spraying medicine. What are we doing? This is
No,
weird.
you're right. Like the name makes no sense now. It will
No,
work incredibly strong with a perk like Lithe or Sprint Burst.
exactly.
It's interesting because I think people considered Lithe to be in like, the bottom three exhaustion perks. But if somebody
Yeah,
knew what they were doing, it's definitely like top two exhaustion perks.
yeah. Like it's actually rolling on if you know what you're doing.
Oh, I
But
do
yeah,
not think people will be running Lithe, Blood Rush, anti-hemorrhagic syringe.
no,
I think
no.
people will try it once or twice and realize it takes such a specific interaction and
Yeah,
the benefit you'll get is really strong, but it's
yeah,
not old hemorrhage
yeah.
syringe. It's
What's
not.
gonna happen though is people are gonna do Vigil Sprint Burst, maybe fixated, Blood Rush, and then anti-hemorrhagic syringe.
Yep,
So it's like, oh,
yep.
whenever the killer's getting close to me, I'll just Sprint Burst away, and it's gonna be awful, and everyone's
And
gonna
then
hate
as soon as I can, I'll touch myself, use my med kit, and sprint burst away again.
it. Exactly.
That'll
Oh,
be
and
strong
the
for one or two chases.
who knows? Maybe Mindbreaker will actually have use. Mindbreaker value?
It's kill switched right now, so we'll see it come back.
The other add-on that got changed is the Septic Agent. This is the one that granted you endurance for 5 seconds. Now it no longer grants endurance. It increases efficiency when healing yourself by 15%. Uh, it's fine. It's okay. It's not as bad as anti-hemorrhagic syringe. This is fine. I'm fine with it. The interesting thing I want to note, the devs did this because they specifically wanted to prevent chases from going on that should have ended earlier, which I feel like was kind of the antithesis to the syringe because you just made it better. Sorry. Sorry.
It
No.
was very much like a easier to use dead hard, and I think
Yeah.
if they want that interaction to happen, it should only be on something like dead hard
Hmm.
or made for this,
Yeah.
where you're in the middle of a chase and you do something risky and you get away with it because you timed it right.
Yeah.
Now you don't just have that on a button press.
Yeah. Or maybe if they really want to keep the exhaustion thing, just add specifically you cannot use the secondary feature of your medkit 5 seconds after you've left a chase. Or after you cannot use it in chase and you cannot use it 5 seconds after chase. So it's not like, oh, I broke line of sight, chase ended, I can pop it. It's like, oh, now I have to do it after chase or I have to do it before chase. I feel like that would be a good change.
And
If
the,
they
and the
wanted to keep that big.
counterplay to it was so simple that it also made it kind of like a null point. Like you're chasing a survivor with a med kit, you've hit them once, they go behind a corner, and you see them again, and they have no med kit.
It's
You
like,
just
oh,
assume they have endurance, and you just wait 4 more seconds while you smell their hair.
yeah.
Now it's a little different. Now it kind of benefits like taking care of yourself and building like a solo sufficient build. I
Yeah.
don't know the numbers off the top of my head, and I can't really tell if like a purple medkit with Styptic add-on and extra charges is more efficient than just stacking two extra
Extra
charge
charges,
add-ons.
yeah.
It's interesting, right? Like I don't know what the numbers will add up to be.
Yeah, we'll have to test that out. It's very interesting. All right, we're almost done this episode, everyone. Don't worry, it's only gonna be like 2 more minutes.
Meaty episode.
Rum.
Meaty episode.
Yes. All right. So, new bug reporting system is coming. It's not coming out on this BTB, but it is coming. So be aware. Additionally, some merch updates. We're getting some new products, gift cards, and there's gonna be a rewards program for Dead by Daylight merch. So if you like the Dead by Daylight merch and you want to get more stuff, look out for that. Ooh, ooh. Back to the game. This made me so happy when I heard it. So the planned Frank Stone cosmetic for the Trapper is no longer releasing, and they're considering other ways to bring him into the game. Yes, he is here. It's happening. Oh my god. They're not banning me no more. Yay. Sorry, I'm just. They're not gonna turn him into a fucking Trapper cosmetic like they said they wouldn't, and then immediately did. They're actually gonna make him a character. Fuck yeah! Sorry, I'm just really happy.
No, I want to see it. I want a full DLC of a character that they've already kind of fleshed out. I
Yeah,
like when
like
they
I'm
have
already
a design
imagining
and they
it.
can just
Like
place it in the game.
we got Madison T. We've got a fucking I can't remember her name, the girl with the blonde hair. You can have legendary skins, so it's the other people like the director, and then Frank Stone himself. The way to like stop him, he can have like traversal power where he goes like Spectre mode, and to stop
Oh,
him from like traversing, you pull out a camera and record him, depending on the film, and he has to go back to his body or something. That can be cool. There's concepts here, concepts. Sorry, very excited. Shouldn't be for the end of the episode. We'll probably talk about Frank Stone in a future episode. Wink, wink. Ah.
I hope so.
I really hope so. Additionally, the final thing they said in that little live stream and kind of related to the PTB, the community cosmetic winners will release a roadmap for that soon, trademark, along with changes that the devs will be making to like the whole like community contest stuff. They said that they're likely going to make it so the Drudge and Singularity skins that got changed that people were really upset with won't happen again. If I'm to assume what this means, they'll probably do a live update and maybe have like a bit of player voting. Like, hey, we can't really have this really long skirt on, say, like the pig for something or something. She's got like a long skirt. And it's like, we can either tear it in half or give her pants. You guys choose. They'll probably do something like that. So I like that. Yay. Very happy. In the notes, I wrote good. So good. And with that, that's the entire PTB 9.30 and live stream chat. Stevie, any final thoughts?
We'll have to see it in game. I'll be honest. We'll
Yeah.
have to. I hope it goes live. I hope that the community doesn't fucking piss on this like they did the last one.
I mean,
I
the last one
mean,
was kind of I made
justifiably.
sense. Yeah, but like this one's fine. I feel like if this went live, no one would be strongly affected. This would be a positive outcome. Even if it's a little survivor sided, I feel like it's needed because solo queue survivor, oh, it's a pain. And all my solo queue survivors out there, all my listeners and viewers who love solo queue survivor or have to, just know this patch is for you because oh my god, does it suck sometimes?
Yes.
AKA all the time.
If you think of this patch as, oh, it's entirely survivor sided, you're right. It's
Yeah,
necessary,
you have to
but
do
if
this.
it is survivor sided, it's a little bit on this side.
What do we survivor sided?
Nah, don't worry. In 3 months, we'll get like, generators take 20 more seconds. Have fun.
I hope they don't do that. As a killer mate, don't make gens take longer, please. Let's add
I think that
something
would be
else.
fine. I want my games to not last 10 minutes every single time.
I mean, that's fair, but also, like, don't increase gens by 20 seconds. Like, add a secondary objective. Add, like, a blood gen. I don't know. Something different.
Best we could
Something.
do is 20 more seconds.
We'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll see that in the next PGB with, the January Killer and Survivors.
Oh god, yes, that'll be the next one. Yeah,
Oh
100%.
god, we're gonna be drowning in not drowning, we're gonna be in a drought of content for a little bit. But don't worry, we got Christmas. Christmas.
Winter event coming up soon.
Winter snowball. The Halloween just ended and we're already talking about Christmas. Are we capitalists? Are
Yeah, this
we
feels like I'm Target right now, where as soon
Yeah,
as
we're
November rolls
Target.
around, it's Christmas time.
You hear that? It's Mariah Carey. She's coming out. She's here.
Hi.
She's the next killer in Dead by Daylight. Oh my god. That's the killer, Mariah Carey. Who would the survivors be though?
Oh god. Yeah, let me look at my Mariah Carey lore.
Yeah, yeah. You see, in chapter 5 of The Winter Queen Strikes Back, Shakira and Katy Perry actually have to fend off from her in their cabin during the winter of 2012. Believe it or not.
Mariah Carey would make a great killer with lullabies. Just
What the fuck?
they jump in a
That was
locker. Oh no.
terrifying. Oh my god. What would her power be? She sings really high, and if you're in her radius for too long, you take damage. And then you're like, the Christmas music.
You just can't stop screaming. She's like Doctor.
The Christmas cheer is too infectious. But anyways, that is going to be concluding our episode. Listeners, viewers, thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to send us an email at redstainradio@gmail.com or follow us on our social medias, aka that's Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And make sure to share this podcast with someone. You don't have to though, but we would appreciate it. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, listeners and viewers, and we'll see you in the fog next week.
Thank you, Madison. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Stevie.